In this video, I'll be demonstrating the basics of recording and playing back scenes using the cue stack on the LPC console. Let's get started by having you look at the controls you will be using. In the main control area, or the touch screen, you will select Cues and Record. This is the cue stack area of the console that includes the Stack On button, as well as the cue number button, used to select where you would like to start in the cue stack. When running cues, you will be using the Go, the Hold button, and the Back button, as well as the cue stack fader to take cues manually. There are some additional cue-related areas on the monitor that we will cover as we go through the process of recording and playing back the cues. So let's begin with recording cues. We'll first select the channels that we want in our first cue. Now we can select an up fade time. This is the time that the cue will take to complete its levels. We can also enter a down fade time. This is the time the previous cue will take to go out. We can also enter a follow time or a wait time if we are linking cues together. You also have the ability to name your cue. Once you have all the information that you want, we'll hit Enter or Save, and we can set levels again for the next cue. For instance, if we want to add channels 3 and 4 to this cue, enter in the information we would like to enter, and hit Save. Let's clear what we just recorded out. Clear all, and then release those channels. Now that we have recorded a few cues, let's take a look at the cue stack run mode. In the run mode, the display shows the current cue we are in, the next cue, and an upcoming cue with all its cue information. You can now hit the Go button. To run from cue 1 to cue 2 in this example, now hit the Go button. This will run the cue with the set fade times you recorded in the cue properties. The override box allows you to skip to a different cue number in the stack, as well as manipulate the times for that move. After entering the information, you'll want to hit the Apply button to acknowledge the changes. You can also take manual control of the cue. After pushing the Go button, you would then push Hold. After hitting the Hold button, you will notice a warning on the screen. To take hold of this cue manually, you'll then take the manual fader down to the level that you held the cue. After doing this, you'll notice the warning will go away and you now have manual control of the cue. If you hit Go in error or want to return to a previous cue, you can do this by pushing the Back button. To alter the cues you have recorded, simply click or touch the Preview tab in the lower left-hand corner of the screen. If your cue was live when you entered the screen, the changes made will be seen on stage. If your cue you want to work on was not in use, the changes will be made in a blind state. You can stay in this screen to preview additional cues. LPC also gives you the ability to copy your cue. While still in the preview screen for cues, select the desired cue number you would like to copy. A new box will be displayed, giving you the option to assign a cue number to the copied cue. This is a good chance to point out that you can insert a cue in between other cues by assigning a point to the number. In this case, we'll number this cue 1.5, which will have it go between 1 and 2 when run from the stack. When you're working on cues, it is also good to remember that if you have a cue running in the stack, that these values will be recorded in any new cues you set. To avoid this from happening, simply turn off the cue stack. Cue list is also a good place to see all of the information for your cues, including the times assigned. You can also quickly rearrange your cues in this screen. Simply click on the cue you would like to move, and use the arrow keys, up or down, to move your cue. Those are the basic fundamentals of recording cues on the LPC console from Leprecon.